Hi, all. Welcome to another episode of Bite Size Staffing, where I attempt to take huge dental staffing issues and condense them into bite-sized webinars for you to watch during your lunch break or in between patients. Why listen to me? I co-created a dental staffing platform that connects dental offices directly to dental professionals who are looking for permanent or temporary positions. Every single day, I speak with dental offices who are looking to hire, dental professionals who are looking for temporary and permanent work, and working closely with the job boards to see how I can get my clients' ads seen by as many candidates as possible. So, I do know a few things about how to successfully staff a dental practice. This bite is all about how to survive being short staffed, whether your practice is growing too rapidly or you lost one of your assistants. We know being short staffed in a dental practice is rough. So, here are some tips on how to survive that. First things first, I would take the time to cross train every single team member on my team. I actually do this with my own company now. Every single person can step into anybody's role and do their work. This is something that I did not wait until we were short staffed to do this. It is just something that we implement every time somebody is hired. They get to learn every position across the board. Obviously, your dental assistant and front office staff cannot become the hygienist, but if you are short staffed, they can, and you as a doctor have to step in and do some hygiene care. Your other team members can do everything within their power to assist you to make those appointments as seamless as possible. So, front desk team, they should know how to flip operatories, sterilize, and assist with suction as needed. All of your back office teams should know how to answer phones and check patients in and out. And I know that a lot of my clients in particular actually have their front office staff dressing in scrubs because they might need to step in the back and assist on any given day. So that way, everybody on your team has a nice uniformed look to them, and they're all prepared to step into whatever role is needed for them that same day. Utilize temps as often as you can when you're short staffed. When it comes to temps, it's really best to build relationships with them and schedule them right away on the days that you know you need help. My philosophy is kind of have a temp bench. This is a very small Rolodex of really great temps that you've worked with in the past that you're able to call anytime you have a shift available to them, and hopefully one of them is able to accept the shift. That way you're not always having a bunch of random people step into your practice, and I'll tell you why that is key here in a moment. But having a temp that can come in and assist gives your team a little reprieve from time to time. So they're not running themselves ragged, operating your practice while you're trying to get someone hired to fill in. And the nice thing about working with temps is if someone is truly great and they click very well with you and your team, maybe you could hire them to fill that position. Outsource what you can. There are so many services out there nowadays that can really help lighten the load of your team. So, outsourcing whatever you can. And I'm sure there's more stuff than I even know about to outsource. But, like for front office, for example, you can outsource your billing. You can outsource your answering system or your insurance verification, which, if you're able to outsource all of that, then they can assist in the back with flipping operatories and suction until you're able to fill in whatever role you're trying to fill in. So all of those outsourcing items are available to you, and then some. Like I said, I'm sure there's tons that I don't even know about. So if your practice is really struggling in one area because you're short staffed, do some research and see if there's a way to outsource that bulk of your work. And lastly, communicate with your team. Let them know, like, hey, I know we're short staffed. I really appreciate all the hard work that you're doing to keep us afloat, and make sure that they're aware of everything that you're doing to fill this open position as soon as possible. A quick thank you goes a long way. I worked for a doctor. We were short staffed. We were spread so thin, and they didn't even acknowledge all the hard work that we were doing. to keep the practice afloat. And they didn't also pitch in. I mean, they would just go to into their office and do their thing while we're scrambling and barely coming up for oxygen. So don't do that. What ended up ultimately happening is 3 other people put in their notice and left. So it was an absolute disaster. So take a quick minute, let them know you're appreciative of all their hard work that they're doing for you, and keep them abreast on what you are doing to get the office fully staffed. And if all else fails, I hate suggesting this one, but lighten your schedule if you absolutely must. When your team is overworked, you do run the risk of losing them and them quitting on you because they're tired and exhausted. So keep this option in the back of your mind as an option that's there just to keep your team healthy and happy and not leaving you. So let's talk dental temps. Before 2020, simply call your local temp agency, put in a request, and then you could have a temp in your office that next day. And this is what I started off doing, was contingency dental staffing. Post 2020, not so much the case. So here are all the avenues that you can do that you can exhaust to find temps for your practice. Online temp services. There are a bunch of services out there available to you nowadays, Direct Dental being one of them. And their goal is just to connect you with temps in the area. Some don't charge daily rates and placement fees. Direct Dental does not. Some of them actually employ the temps for you. So you are paying a premium to get that temp in, but then you don't have to worry about doing any onboarding paperwork or anything like that. So kind of pick and choose based on costs, needs, what you feel comfortable with, all of that, and then figure out what recruitment or temp agency that you want to work with in regards to that. And then, of course, if you are lucky enough to still have a local temp agency, you can use that as contingency temp staffing. I always think, that's a good option for you. Facebook groups are a fantastic way to find temps nowadays. So this is right here is an image of a Facebook group that I host out here in San Diego, but you see that little search. I'm pointing at my screen, but you see that little search filter up at the top. Simply go there, type in dental hygienist and your location, and all the groups for dental hygienists in your area will pop up. And you simply join the group, and then you post that you need a temp, and you post the schedule that you need a temp for. And then the hygienists in that group are able to then reach out to you, DM you to see if they can come and work with your practice that day. You can do this for dental assistants. You can do this for front office staff. Great way to find temps. Again, with this, though, you do want to have kind of a not onboarding, but you want to have a quick interview with them. Just make sure that they're a legitimate person. Ask them questions about their experience, maybe ask them to send over their resume. You do just want to get some information about them before you have a random Joe Schmo that you find on social media come into your practice. So make sure you do that. Ask your coworkers, employees, your colleagues, anybody in your study club, if they have anybody that they can suggest to come in and temp with you. We see a lot of people, there's certain doctors that have that temp bench that I recommended, that I talked about in the last slide. And that they can then reach out to all of their temps to say, hey, I have a colleague that has this temp position open on these days. Are you able to work it? And then they can assist you in filling that role. If you have some time, like a little bit of time before you need temp coverage, you can go on to the job boards and post your temp job. There is some time involved. So if you need a temp tomorrow, might not be the best option, but if you've got like 3 to 4 days, go onto the job boards, post your job. I need a temp. This is the days that I need temp coverage. If you can work any of these days, please apply. And you'll be pleasantly surprised how many people actually apply to your temp job that you posted on the job boards. So this is a really great option to get temp coverage that you need. And all of these options do give you the ability to maybe make a permanent hire if it is the right person. So these are all the tools that I utilize to try to get temps for my clients. Now, when you do find a temp, I had mentioned this on the last slide, you want to have, a conversation with them about their skill sets and abilities, especially if you're finding them through somewhere like social media. But you want to talk to them about all of this information here. So these are the days that you're agreeing to. This is start and end time on those days. This is the address of my practice. You want to make sure they have parking information. They need to know what to wear, or they need to be in scrubs. Is it a front office? You want them to be business professional attire. Just make sure you lay that out for them. What information you need from them, what kind of paperwork, forms of ID, all of that stuff that they need to bring in. You want to confirm their skill sets, make sure that they're able to do what they say that they're able to do. And then, of course, you want to make sure you agree on the rate of pay with them before they show up and work in your office. There is nothing worse than having a temp come in and they're thinking they're making X dollars an hour, but you plan to give them Y dollars an hour. And then it gets very awkward very fast. So before they even show up to temp in your office, you need to have that conversation about what the pay rate is and make sure you are both in agreement on it. Paperwork. So, as I mentioned, there are some agencies out there that employ the temps for you. They come as a markup, and they're not nationwide. Labor laws in some areas make it very challenging for these type of agencies to exist. And in those kind of states where that is the case, you'll have what's called a referral agency, where they're basically just connecting you directly to the temp. And then you've got these online type platforms that aren't even necessarily referral agencies, where you're just using the platform to get yourself connected with the temps. So if you are not working with a company that's employing the temps for you, this is kind of a snapshot of the paperwork that could be required depending on your state. So before you even consider having a temp, I would reach out to either your labor board in your state, or if you work with a labor lawyer, or if you work with an HR company in some fashion to make sure that you stay compliant. You want to talk with them about all of the paperwork that is required for you to get from your temps in accordance with your state. This is based off of California, which has some of the strictest labor laws out of the majority of the states. So I always say this is a good kind of toolkit at a glance to adhere to, because if you're following California state labor laws, you're probably safe in your own state. I am not a labor lawyer in any fashion, so this is just all advice, and you need to do your research on your particular state on what is needed. But I did put this together with a company called HR for Health, and so this is what California state needs for their temp. So as you can see, it is extremely long. It's a lot of information. So as I had mentioned before, having that temp bench, because once you have a temp in your practice and they've done all of this paperwork, you can now have that temp back as often as you need to without having to redo all of this paperwork again. So working with the same temps over and over and over again is really a great way to get away from having to do this every single time you have a new body come into your practice. Moving on. So setting your temp up for success. After all of that paperwork has been complete, make sure you give the temp a quick tour of your office. Spend an extra moment to show them the operatories that they're going to be working in, and make sure that those operatories are fully stocked, or that they have easy access to any items that they may need and know where to go to find those items. Take a moment to introduce them to your entire team. And if possible, have your team wear name tags so that way your temp can quickly identify them. Make sure to review the schedule closely with them. If you're doing a morning huddle, that usually takes care of this. But if you don't, make sure you take a moment to review the schedule closely and let them know exactly what is expected of them for the day. Let them know about any problem patients, so that they know how to best deal with them, so that they feel comfortable and they're not caught off guard. We know how those problem patients could be. Let your patients know that there is a new face in the office assisting temporarily. We know some patients, they just don't feel comfortable seeing an unfamiliar face. So acknowledging that there's a new person in the office is usually all that's needed to put that patient at ease. Make sure that the temp is aware that if they have any questions, who on the staff they can go to get those questions answered. Let them know they're doing a great job. Everybody loves to hear it. So just say it, especially if you do want to get them added to your temp bench roster. And, of course, thank them for their help. Make them feel included. If you bring in any treats, make sure that you bring in enough for the temp to enjoy as well. And if they did do a great job, tell them you would like them to come back. Kind of sit down with the calendar at the end of the day and see what other days they can fill in for you. And then make sure you get all of their contact information and let them know that you'll be reaching out for any temp opportunities in the future. And that is my quick little spiel on how to survive being short staffed. As always, this QR code is going to take you to my blog, which covers a lot of the information that we're covering here on these bites and then some. If you have any specific questions, feel free to reach out to me, holly@directdental.com, or you can reach me on the number there. Look forward to seeing you guys all in a few weeks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.